for the internals of Git workshop. So yeah, essentially we are sort of going to get inside Git today. That's what we're going to try to do. So because we are going inside Git, I expect that people know the basic commands like git add, git commit, git status. Does anyone not know those? That's fine. I'll be going over it in short. So just let me know.
Yeah, go over that. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Okay. So essentially, we are going to be learning about how Git efficiently manages your files and why. Why do we need to learn that? We'll get to that. So essentially, before we start, what is Git, right? So Git is essentially a version controlling system, right? It helps you manage versions of your software, right? So what do I mean by that? So essentially, a lot of times you'll have, let's take an example. Let's take a website, right? Let's take GitHub itself. So let's say you have the github.com code in your repository, which is just like a space for your code, right? And you are given the task to change a button from the color green to color red, right? So that's a new version of your site, right? So what Git will allow you to do, it will allow you to take a copy of that code and you can make all your changes, right? You can change the color of the button and then finally get those changes back into the main code, and that can be seen by people, right? So Git helps you sort of facilitate all this, right? And every new change that you make is essentially a commit, right? So it's essentially a version of your code, right? So Git is something that is a tool that helps you maintain version of your software and a bunch of other things that we'll look into later on. So yeah. Right. So why should we, now that you know what Git is, why should we get into like the internals, right? So essentially, I just started exploring the internals of Git just for the fun of it. I was like, hey, I've used this tool quite a bit. Let's see what's inside. So that's how it started, and then I just understood. So these are realizations that I had, and these are those realizations that hey, once you understand how a tool works internally, you essentially you are able to use the tool better, and if you're able to use the tool better, you're obviously able to be more productive with it. And Git can get very messy, so once you understand how it works, you sort of start getting the hang of it better. So that's how it helps. And the second thing, obviously, when you see how something works internally, you understand